Om Shanti. 7th August 2019, Wednesday. Slogan: put aside all the supports. Put aside all the supports and make preparations to return home. Now put aside all the supports and make preparation to return home. To let go of all the supports. To get rid of all the supports. And making preparations to go back home. And making preparations for return journey is the call of the time. What preparations are needed for return journey? To detach. And what preparation is needed? To settle all the karmic accounts. What else? What preparation is needed for return journey? Mentally prepared. A sense of satisfaction. There is nothing remained here to be attained. What else?
To remember that destruction is standing ahead.
Destruction is standing ahead. Okay. What else? Baba is saying put aside all the supports and make preparations to return home. So we can summarize that all preparation in few points. The first, as is said, all accounts should be settled. Not a single account should remain here. Whatever karmic accounts we have, unless and until we settle them all, we cannot go back. And our karmic accounts are with innumerable souls who are existing here. So, everything should be settled. Without settling these accounts, soul cannot go back. Second, all bondages should be broken off. So long as there are bondages here, one cannot go back. One has to get rid of all the bondages, the grossest and the subtlest. The gross bondages are gone, but the subtle bondages and the most subtle bondages are the bondages of the mind, are the bondages of the intellect, are the bondages of the sanskars, very deep-rooted sanskars, the propensities and the tendencies to do evil, to get attached, to be vicious. These attraction of the vices, this attraction of the elements, sinful intentions, and the subtle sinful actions, thought crimes, actions may not be criminal, but what about thought crimes? They are very subtle. The breach of Srimad at the level of thought would be counted as a sin. The subtle indulgence in the sensual pleasures of the body is also a bondage. The second thing which is needed is all the bondages should be snapped. The third, practice in 1 second to detach from the body and to go back to home. This practice should be made perfect, and should be a daily practice. No matter how busy one is and how much involved one is in service, there should still be the practice in 1 second to return back, in 1 second to go away from this worldly affairs and to enter that arena of soundlessness, wordlessness, speechlessness, total silence, and come back. So there has to be a practice. Then only one can go back. The fourth thing to go back, or the preparation which is needed for return journey, is vairagya. The one who is attached to this world, how will he hope to go back when all the links, all the attachments to this world and to the temporary and the mundane pleasures of this world are gone, and the sun of vairagya arises in the heart? Then one gets ready to go back to that world, to that place from where we had come. So there should be out and out vairagya. There are 3 categories of vairagya. One is intense, another is medium, and third is mid-slow vairagya. Slow will not work, medium will not work. Intense. And intense means we don't want anything from this world. Intense means mind is not attached to a single soul of this planet Earth. Intense means there is not even 1% expectation of anything from any soul of this world. We don't want anything. We don't want anyone's cares, care, love, attention, praise, appreciation, acknowledgement. Nothing. That should be the aim. So vairagya is the 4th thing which is needed to go back home. And then, for going back home, you need wings to fly. Which wings? Zeal, enthusiasm. Which wings? Jnana and yoga. Which wings? Tyag and tapasya. Which wings? Purity. Purity is not a wing. Baba has never mentioned purity as wing. There are so many other wings. So wings are needed to go back. And then double refined petrol. You need double refined petrol. And what is the double refined petrol? That had come recently, few years back, in some Avyakta Murli, that you need double refined petrol. One is soul consciousness and second is God consciousness. Or one is remembrance of Shiva Baba, another is remembrance of Brahma Baba. That is the double refined petrol. So without this double refined petrol, you cannot travel, you cannot go up, you cannot make a journey back home. And then you need switch. Which is the switch which is needed? Awareness, smriti. On the switch, put on the wings, have double refined petrol. Then only you can travel. Otherwise you cannot travel. You need all of these things to travel back. And then, double light. You should be very much light in order to travel. You cannot travel with heaviness, with burden. Deload yourself. The gun is loaded at present. So all the load, all the burden should be dropped. And then one becomes double light, and then one can fly. And then, in order to return home, you need remembrance. Remembrance of Father and remembrance of the home. Intense remembrance of the home. There should be a sense of spiritual nostalgia, spiritual homesickness, just as when we travel somewhere and go to some new place, our family, our home, our place, our country pulls us in the similar manner. This home, from where we had descended once upon a time, long back, it's 5,000 years now, and now that same remembrance of the home should pull us, should attract us. So remembrance of home, then only the return journey will happen. Otherwise return journey is not possible. There should be intense remembrance, heightened remembrance, augmented remembrance. Fortified remembrance, solidified remembrance, magnified remembrance. Then only one can go back. Then Ichcha matram avidya, no desire of this world. All the desires gone. Worldly desires, ephemeral desires, temporal desires, mundane desires, earthly desire, terrestrial desires. The desires of this earth. Secular desires. Ignorant of all the desires. Then only you can go back. Otherwise it's not possible to travel back, to go back. One who is caught up in the trap of desires, yearnings, longings, expectations, how can you hope to go back? You cannot go back. So, the stage which is needed to go back is Ichcha matram avidya. Then ever ready. One should be ever ready to go back. Without that, you cannot go back. If the call comes now, am I ready? I have to send certain messages and make some phone calls. And delete few things. Confirm ticket. So one should be ever ready to travel back. Without remaining ever ready, you cannot go back. And the last, 12th complete purity, complete vicelessness. Baba said, unless and until you become pure, you cannot go back. Impure souls cannot travel to the world, to the land of purity. Paramdham is the purest place, the most sacrosanct place, the most sacred place, the most viceless place. So complete vicelessness is needed to travel back. Without such vicelessness, without such stainless purity, uncontaminated purity, unadulterated purity, stainless purity, spotless purity, unblemished purity, impeccable purity, one cannot go back. You need out and out 100% vicelessness, then only you can go back. So these 12 things are needed in order to travel back, in order to begin the return journey. Without this journey, without these preparations, you cannot go back. So Baba is saying, today's slogan, now put aside all the supports. Whatever supports, whatever clutches one is holding on to, throw aside. Preparation of going back. Now it's the time to go back. So these are the preparations which are needed. And putting aside all the supports. What are the subtle supports that I am holding on? One should recheck oneself, examine oneself. Self-analysis is needed. So, we'll revise again. What are the preparations? So 12 types of preparation are needed to go back. All accounts should be settled. So, if adverse situations are coming, if people are unruly, rude, if people are not behaving in the way I want, probably they are settling the accounts. So one should get happy that new situations, new adverse circumstances, new karmic accounts are coming. So it's good, it's best, it's nice that our accounts are getting settled. So all accounts should be settled. Then only one can go back. So one should not become unhappy in the face of adverse situations. One of the characters of Shakespeare's King Lear says, sweet are the uses of adversity. Sweet are the uses of adversity. When the King Lear is exiled, that time he says that this adversity has taught me so many things. So unfavorable situations, incongenial situations, adverse situations, most difficult situations, they teach you the most. Comfortable situations don't teach anything. Comfortable and people who are praising, do they teach us anything? Very less. Those people who abuse, who malign, who condemn, who insult, those people who shout, those people who are angry, those people who cast aspersions on us, those people who blame, who abuse, who level false allegations against us, they are our greatest teachers. They teach us so many things free of cost, without going and joining any crash course of becoming unshakable and immovable. They come freely and they offer their teachings free of cost. And you don't have to go to them, they come to you. You don't have to join any university, any school, any coaching courses. They take out time from their busy schedule and they come for your benefit and for your welfare, to teach, to enlighten, because they cannot see you imperfect. Their concern is your perfection. They are our greatest teachers. You don't have to search them. You don't have to go to them. You don't have to pay them. And still, such eternal help. So rejoice when the karmic accounts are getting settled. Enjoy and dance in happiness when the accounts are getting settled. Second, bondage. See that subtle bondages are gone. Nothing should pull me, nothing should stop me, nothing should stay with me. No attachment. This is such a good stage when the mind is without any attachment to any human being. You are sitting and you aren't remembering anyone. Nothing to give and nothing to take. We have nobody to call and inform somebody something. Only receiving business should be there. No calling business. So all bondages gone. Third, practice. Practice to detach from the body. Practice to go out from this body. Practice spiritual drills throughout the day. Practice death. See your own death, your own funeral, the body getting burnt to ashes. That's a good spectacle. Then, intense detachment, dispassion, disinterest, unlimited disinterest. There are two words. One is uninterested, another is disinterested. What is the difference? Uninterested and disinterested.
Uninterested means not interested in a specific situation.
And disinterested means?
Not interested in any of the situation. No interest.
Uninterested means student is uninterested in study. Disinterested means, in English, disinterest means impartial. A judge is disinterested in the case. Judge is disinterested in the case. But disinterest also means uninterested. That is another meaning. So there has to be a lot of confusion, because same word will have many meanings. Just as in Hindi there are two words, nirman and nirman. One is small now and another is bigger now. So smaller means humble, bigger means construction. But smaller also means construction. So smaller has got two meanings. One, humble, and second, bigger now. So that's why the confusion increases. And then you should have double refined petrol, and then you should have wings, and then you should have switch, and then you should have double light stage, and then you should be ignorant of desires, and then remembrance of father and remembrance of the home, and then ever ready, and then complete vicelessness. So these things are needed for preparation, even if one is achieved. All others will come back. Will follow it. So, return journey. It's a very good topic to churn. Why we want to return? That's another question. This was the preparation for return journey. Now there is another question, why we want to return back. This hundreds of answers can be given. Why we want to go back? Why we want to go back?
Because we feel most comfortable, the place from where we really belong.
Because this world is no more a place for us to live. This world is brothel. This world is vicious world. This world has lost its glory. Let's start a brand new story. Is a song. Why? This world is destruction is round the corner. Why we want to go back home? Because Father has come. Why we want to go back home? Because He has come to take us back home. Why we want to go back home? Because we are totally frustrated here. We are tired, we are fatigued, we don't know what to do, and this world cannot sustain us anymore. There is a total irreligiousness, total anarchy, total lassitude of morals, total sense or lack of total turpitude, depravity of moral principles, total destructions of religion. So such a world is not a place for us to stay. That's why we want to go back. But these are only few answers. A big list can be made. Why we want to go back home. So, I'll read once more. Put aside all the supports and make preparation to return home. Om Shanti.